Hey everybody, it's Chase with AV Pop Culture again, and today we continue our spooky season focused content with a look at my weekly watch list that has given me some very spooky recommendations for you. So pop that tape in, I got you, let's go do this. All right, so spooky season focused content still going here. And I know you guys know, if you've been following me, you have the 31 Days of Horror challenge that I laid out for you and myself. So this weekly watch list is in addition to that. And I have some other little recommendations. Now, a couple of them I've mentioned before, but this is what I've watched this week outside of my horror challenge list. So if you're looking for some other recommendations, I definitely have a few here, some hidden gems, some fun stuff that I've mentioned before, and some shockingly good horror performances from an acting standpoint that you just have to check out. So let's go ahead and get to the list. And the first one up on the list is one of the few that I don't have on physical media. I'm reaching over here for it. I don't have it. But I am talking about 2013's Where. Now, you can find this on streaming, even if you have to rent it. I don't know if there's a physical media release of this out there. But, and it's one, so I'm going to try to keep this particular movie spoiler free, because if I say too much, it kind of ruins, in my opinion, it will ruin what the movie is if you haven't seen it. You may have some ideas because the movie is called Where. Now, this is, as I said, it's from 2013, and an attorney basically has to represent this guy who is accused of killing a vacationing family, but she discovers there's maybe, let's just say there's more to him than meets the eye, in your best Optimus Prime voice. And this is a very interesting horror take with multiple aspects of different horror movies put together. And let's just say that the approach and makeup is very unique. This one's very hard to talk about without just spoiling it. So I'm just going to say that I recommend that you check out 2013's Where. It's also one that I don't have on physical media. Now, the next one up on physical media is one that I talk about watching every night when I go to sleep. And I'm just going to say this is not widely available on physical media, but it can be had if you don't like streaming services basically holding films hostage. You can check Etsy, you can check eBay. This is not something I normally do, but this is one of my favorite Halloween films. I think it just encompasses everything Halloween is, even though it's kind of ridiculous. I'm talking about Hubie Halloween. I can't recommend this enough. If you haven't seen it, you can watch it on Netflix. The picture is beautiful. I got this Blu-ray gifted to me, and it was bought for like $12.99, I believe, on eBay. I'm still in my buying freeze. This was gifted to me, and it's very well done. It's got a great picture on it. This is a movie that's crying out for 4K. This thing has got all the Halloween vibes in every single way. I love Adam Sandler. The cast is fun. It's ridiculous, right? But it's filmed in Salem, Massachusetts. All the fall Halloween vibes, atmosphere, just fun. Got some adult stuff to it, but just it's so cool. This is one that puts me at peace. And like I said, I kind of end up watching it every night, and it is available out there through different outlets. And like I said, this was gifted to me. Very, very cool here. And I think it might be in my player, or might have took it out for this. Yeah, I took it out for this. So it's out there. Can't recommend Hubie Halloween enough. Definitely watching it this week because I watch it almost every night. So you guys know about that one. Now, another one that is not on my 31 Days of Horror challenge, but I got this. This was a awesome gift from a super cool member and subscriber to the channel, Lance. He sent me over Clive Barker's Nightbreed. Super cool movie. Now, the one problem I have with this from Scream Factory is they didn't put the superior cut in 4K. The superior cut of this film is the director's cut. Now, and it's only on a Blu-ray, but the Blu-ray does look good. If you know anything about this movie at all, you know the hell and the different versions and the chopping and the cutting and the adding and all the different stuff that this movie went through. But the director's cut changed the movie. There might be a lot of people out there that have only seen like the theatrical cut to this and you don't like it. If you see the director's cut, it's a completely different movie. It is a completely different movie. Joe Bob Briggs had this on there, and he went into great detail about the history and the provenance of this film and getting the director's cut out there, the super full cut of this movie that it was supposed to be intended. And he said the same thing. It changes the film. It is definitely worth a watch if you haven't seen it. And this is a this is a 4-disc set here. But you can find this on streaming. But this is a big 4K set of Nightbreed. Still available. I don't know if the sale is still going on, but it went down to where you could get I think this set. I hate these stacked cases. Hate them, hate them, hate them. The discs never stay on like they're supposed to. Never stay on. But this went down to where you could get the double slipcover version with the 2 posters for like $24. And that's just an insane price. You can't beat it. This was an awesome gift, and it's one that I had to check out. Even though it was a Blu-ray, I didn't bother with the theatrical cut. I didn't even pop it in to check out the 4K. I will eventually, just to see how good it is. But I love having this movie in the collection, so I popped it in and watched it. Great gift, and definitely a recommend. If you haven't seen it, or if you haven't seen the director's cut out there, definitely worth a revisit. All right, another one on my recommendation list is one that you guys have seen on several lists recently. And again, this is one that was a gift to me, but like this was a used DVD. So this was like $4. Ernest Scared Stupid. I didn't have this on physical media, and I've been talking about it so much lately. I got this gifted to me, and I think it was like $4.99, $3.99, something like that. And it has Ernest Goes to Camp and Ernest Goes to Jail on it too. Now, there is a very expensive out-of-print Scream Factory Blu-ray, I think, or maybe it's a Mill Creek Blu-ray out there. I can't remember. But even if I wasn't on my buying freeze, as much as I love Ernest Scared Stupid, there's no way I'm paying like $50, $75, or $100 for an out-of-print Blu-ray. So I'm happy to get this and watch it on DVD. We've watched it a couple times. I've talked about it a lot. You know, our favorite thing we quote back and forth to each other's, "How about a bumper sandwich, booger lips?" I mean, if you haven't seen this movie, and I've had a couple people say they haven't seen this, and I think my man Brian, or actually, this one's on Daniel over at Cobwebs. He hadn't seen it till recently. He hadn't seen any of the Ernest movies. Totally worth a watch. And I was like, now you have to give Ernest Saves Christmas. That's another big favorite in this household. You have to give Ernest Saves Christmas a chance. Totally worth it. Totally fun. But like, I grew up on Ernest Goes to Camp, Ernest Goes to Jail. Like, my uncle could double for Jim Varney. My uncle, who does like the soundtrack, performs a lot of the soundtrack to my movie Dark Roads. Like growing up, he can spot on impersonate him. Like, he could go in and do voiceovers in place of Jim Varney. He can do all the stuff. So it was always fun growing up with that and watching it. And just a lot of fun. Another just comfort, fun movie. You got to check it out if you haven't. It's definitely on the watch list. Now, another that's on a watch list that I think is worth checking out is also on streaming. It's on Netflix. It's The Curse of Bridge Hollow, I think is the name of it. I watched it this week, first time ever, and I do recommend it. It's very like Goosebumps like. So this stars Marlon Wayans and Rob Riggle is in this movie. They Marlon Wayans and his family moved from the city to this like idyllic like New England town, and the town is obsessed with Halloween. They decorate everything in Halloween. Everybody picks a theme and runs with it. It is very Halloween oriented, and you find out a little bit why and everything as it goes through there. But everybody, and it's not like in a ironic way. No, they really love Halloween and all that kind of stuff. And Marlon Wayans is like supposed to be a scientist or like a science teacher or professor or whatever. So he's not all into it, and his daughter wants to get into it more. I did enjoy it. It's very much like it's almost like an episode of Goosebumps. It's almost or like a Goosebumps movie. Like things start coming, the curse happens, and the things start coming to life. Like Halloween decorations start coming to life and things like that. So it's cool. It's fun. It's very family oriented. There was some things that are off-putting at the very beginning, like some dialogue that's not necessary. I don't want to get into it, but like it's like the things like that don't have a place. You're making a movie for everyone to enjoy. There's no reason to take shots at certain groups of people, things like that. But overall, like I really enjoyed the movie. And it's not one that I would watch again and again. Like I wouldn't go hunting it on physical media when my Netflix subscription is gone after I get to watch all the rest of Cobra Kai and it's gone. I wouldn't go hunting it, but like if you're looking for something for a family to watch and enjoy, I do recommend you check it out. It was pretty fun. I grew up being a big fan of the Wayans brothers. Like back in the day, they had the Wayans Brothers show and all that kind of stuff. So like Marlon Wayans, I was always a fan of, and I think the movie is fun. Like I said, it gives me very Goosebumps vibes. So definitely one worth checking out. Now, another one I got here is one that I had not seen in probably 25 years. I could not wait to get this movie, check it out again. And I am talking about The Stepfather. Holy shit. If you haven't seen this movie, or you haven't seen this movie in a really long time, I cannot, let me repeat that, cannot recommend this movie enough. The acting in this film by Terry O'Quinn is like, he deserved, like, horror movies don't get attention enough. He deserved some sort of acting acknowledgement for this movie. So if you don't know the story of this movie, and the 4K is magnificent on it. I could maybe do as a part of a 4K review sometime if you guys want. But it is fantastic. If you don't know, he plays Terry O'Quinn plays this guy who is in search of the perfect American family, the perfect American life, the marriage, the 2.5 children, the white picket fence, the cookouts, the church on Sundays, everything. He is looking for the perfect idealized version of the American life. The problem is, whenever it doesn't work out or it starts to hit even the slightest bump in the road, he's a serial killer. And I'm not spoiling it. Like, that's the concept of the movie. I mean, it says he wanted a perfect family in a perfect town, but they couldn't measure up. Neither could all the others. It's got him. I'm not spoiling anything here. It's got him with a knife and everything. It's the whole concept of the movie. Dude, like, just the cold calculating and then turn evil. And I promise you, you are not ready for the first few minutes of this movie, the scene in this movie in the very first few minutes. I can't recommend this movie enough. If you haven't seen it, or if it's been a long time, revisit it. I know it's out there on streaming if you must. The 4K is amazing on this. Tons of fall atmosphere in this. colorful leaves blowing this way and that. There's like a leaf fight with the mom and the daughter in this. It's just so good. So good. And this guy is so cold and detached, but also so loving. And like, man, it is a hell of a turn by Terry O'Quinn. Worth your time. The secondary actors in this are good. The mom, the daughter, really good in this movie, is almost like the final girl. But wow, this is a hell of a movie. Cannot recommend it enough. The Stepfather. Watched it this week. I will probably watch it again here soon. Maybe in November it'll pop up on a couple lists and maybe I'll do a review. But and finally, listen, y'all. We give Vinegar Syndrome shit sometimes. Even us big fans of Vinegar Syndrome, we will give Vinegar Syndrome shit a lot of times for putting out just schlock movies. But every now and then you find one that you just take a chance on. And I've had this for months now and just now watched it. We had my friend Chance from Video Goulash. He's about to open his own physical media channel. He came over with his girlfriend Jen. Now, I've known Chance and Jen for a long time. They've made movies with me. They both starred in Dark Road 79. They came over. We made a night of it the other night. My son watched the movie with us. I am talking about Haunted Ween. Holy crap, this movie is fun. It comes in... Haunted Ween is available in the Homegrown Horrors Volume 3 set from Vinegar Syndrome. And this movie is fun. It's from 1991. It feels more like an 80s. Like, we had to look it up because it definitely feels like an 80s. It's shot on film. There is actually some really good... Now, listen, it's got its camp factor. It's got its low budget factor. It was one that Chance had always wanted to see. I grabbed this back in like May or something, June. And I've held on to it till we could get together and watch it because we thought it would be like all of us sitting in there, and just laughing and fun, pointing out the, ridiculousness of the movie. And there is some of that. But you can tell the people know what they're doing that made this movie, too. It's shot in Kentucky. It's like a regional horror film. And it is a lot of fun. So the premise of the movie is it starts out like 20 years in the past. And this teenage boy is working a local haunted house. And he ends up chasing this girl around. And she accidentally gets killed while he's chasing her around, scaring her, and everybody had been making fun of him earlier. But then he kind of goes psycho, and I'll just leave it at that. And then like 20 years later, there's a fraternity. They need money. They're looking for ways to make money. This guy shows back up. He gives them this house to hold and recommends they hold a haunted house in it. So they go all in making a haunted house. He's going to use it as a vehicle to kill people in the haunted house while people are watching, but they all think it is part of the show. And it gets sick and twisted and demented. There are fun practical effects, ridiculous practical effects. We recommend that you watch the special features because there's one scene where they're hanging a guy in there, and he's actually hanging. They didn't have the money to do it properly. So, to like rig up anything. So they actually put the noose around his neck and they let him gently off of the box that he's standing on. And he's literally hanging for like 3 or 4 seconds. And they grab him like that was dangerous, super dangerous to do. But that's where it was. There is some awesome cinematography in it. Now, a lot of it's shot straight up and kind of campy and whatever, but there's a few scenes. I can't show them here because it involves a girl in her underwear and she takes her top off. Going down into a lake when there's fog and the monster, or not a monster, it's a guy, comes up out of the water. There is some really good suspenseful horror shots in this. But then it has that laughing camp factor. There's a guy in this movie that we just keep referring to as this guy because we could never remember his name. But he gives that old Kentucky voice where he talks everything like this, man. Everything. You know, he's going way over the top with it, playing like he's from Kentucky. He is from Kentucky. I mean, but you can tell he's like going over the top. He's ridiculous and funny, and his voice gets high and real country sounding like that. But like you just can't help but like he steals every scene that he's in. You laugh at him. He is hilarious. There's an attractive lead in this movie, but she is a pain in the ass. It's supposed to be Halloween, but like they're in Kentucky, but they're all swimming and stuff and on boats and freezing to death. You could tell they just wanted to put a lot of cool stuff in there, and they did. The movie is fun. It is one that I will watch multiple times and enjoy. There are great, just tons of special features on here, 2 cuts of the film. At last look, you could still get this at a pretty good price, and it has a couple other films in it that now I'm more interested in checking out because this one was so good. Not even all the way so bad it's good. It literally has merits. It's fun. Haunted Ween, I highly recommend. It is like I've got a couple clips here that I'm trying to show you as I'm talking, but they're very low quality. They actually did a 4K scan. It was shot on 16 millimeter. They did a 4K scan and then put it on Blu-ray. It is really good. It's fun. It is just fun. I mean, it's not like some kind of masterpiece, but it's a high recommend for just some silly, old school slasher, haunted house, Halloween vibes, boobs, underwear, cool kills, cool masks, all kinds of stuff. Lots of fun. Haunted Ween. Can't wait to watch it again. High recommend. You could probably maybe find it on streaming out there. I don't know for sure. I think you can watch the whole thing on YouTube for free, but it is very low quality. But Haunted Ween, definitely worth your time and a high recommend. I think buying this box of Homegrown Horrors is worth it just to get Haunted Ween. That's how much fun it was. Can't wait to watch it again. Good food, good friends, good fellowship, good time, good fun. We all watched it together, had Halloween snacks, made up a taco bar, had some some spiked ciders and stuff like that. That's the shit we're talking about here, man. That is what's fun. People say sometimes to me, they're like, your videos are too long. You talk about stuff too much. You talk about the feelings of it too much. Just get to your lists. That's not what I do here. I do lists. I do physical media news. I do 4K reviews. But to me, movies are very important to me. They're part of my life. They're nostalgic. They mark time periods in your life. They're associated with other big memories, happy memories, sad memories, fun memories. But they're very attached to that. And for me, movies are just as much about the vibes and the feelings and what they mean to you. That's what I try to bring across to you, how much they mean to me, all that nostalgia, the growing up, all that. I try to instill that in the videos because that's what's made movies lasting and fun for me. That's what we did with Haunted Ween. That's what I put into my lists, my reviews, all that stuff. It's not just anybody can go buy a movie and put it on a list. That's not what I'm here for. But if that's the kind of, if my kind of thing, the vibes, the heart, the love of this, the connection, trying to connect people through it, through that nostalgia and those memories and stuff, if that's the kind of thing that you're into, then you have found the right place. And I do it all here, the physical media news, 4K reviews, lists, rankings from a fan and filmmaker's perspective, someone who loves this stuff and wants to share it with everyone and share that love and get it connected with you. That's what I do here. And spooky season is a great time for it. And if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. It really does help out the channel. It really does. And if you want to help support the channel, if that's something that you're into, supporting the channel, it means the world to me. You can join below at my Patreon link or right here on YouTube. The only difference is I can do a little more at Patreon and they take a lot less, but otherwise you get the same thing, get access to my videos, behind the scenes, filmmaking, short films, other stuff that I've done. anatomy of a scene, all kinds of stuff. And of course, you're going to get your name and lights here on every video, but I really do appreciate it. I hope you guys check out a few of these recommendations. A lot more physical media stuff coming up this week. We're probably going to have some physical media news. We've got my best haunted house films ever list coming. We're going to see every horror film in my collection coming. Lots of spooky season videos between now and Halloween, and I hope you'll be here for it all. But until next time, be kind, rewind like always. This is Chase with AV Pop Culture, and I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.